What's up guys, welcome to another video. This is Sunny from personalmasteryquest.com, and today we'll be discussing the 7 mirror principles of reality. The mirror principle of reality from the reality transurfing process is such a powerful perspective in order to create your reality and achieve your goals a lot faster. If you are unfamiliar with it, just to give you a quick summary, it basically states that your internal reality, your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, core beliefs, and identity are exactly what is reflected in your outside world, your external world, which is your experiences, events, situations, the people that you encounter, the opportunities, the jobs, the car that you have, the house that you live in. Everything on the outside is a reflection of what exists on the inside. So today what we'll be discussing is the 7 mirror principles that constitute this reflection coming from the internal image. So let's get right into it. The first mirror principle of reality is the world is a mirror that reflects your relationship to it. Meaning your world behaves accordingly to the attitude that you attribute towards it. However you feel about the world, however you feel about yourself, however you feel about reality, other people, about how the world works, is exactly what is reflected outwards. Your attitude towards the world constitutes the reflection that you see, and the reflection only proves your assumption to be correct. Let's just say that you're a very positive person, and to you the world is lovely, it's joyful, it's abundant, but you have a lot of negative people around you. At work, let's just say, and these people are constantly complaining about things that happen to them, all these accidents, all these negative occurrences, and you can't fathom how their world behaves that way. And you kind of disagree with them on how the world really is, and they disagree with you. Both of you are correct, but here's the thing you have to realize. We live in the same world, but we all create our own separate layer of reality. Our layer of reality behaves according to our beliefs, our identity around our relationship to the layer of reality. This means that one of the quickest ways to make a profound change in your life is just to change your attitude towards life. Stop always offering this negative energy out into the world, and stop thinking that life is such a cruel, cold place. Because if you truly believe that deep down, that is exactly what you will experience. The world is multifaceted, meaning it will show you exactly the face that you want to see. So if that's truly how you believe it is, that's exactly what it will show you. Here's the thing, people want things to get better, people want things to change, but they don't want to change themselves. They don't want to change their outlook on the world. They want to see the proof first, and then they'll be like, okay, now the world is great. But the outlook on the world has to change first. You have to make a positive change within so that you can experience it outwards. Remember, the world is a mirror that reflects your relationship to it. This brings us to number 2. Reflection is formed in the unity of heart and mind. Meaning your heart and mind, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, both have to agree upon a certain subject in order for this reflection to occur. For example, let's say you've been a negative person your entire life, and now you are trying to be more positive, you are reading more self-help books, and you have picked up certain new beliefs from those self-help books that you are trying to implement into your life. You believe that you are abundant, but your whole life you have not believed that. You have believed that you are coming from lack, that the world is a cruel place. Just because you have picked up that new belief doesn't mean that your heart and mind agree on it. So your heart may feel that as true, right? Your heart, you may feel deep within that makes sense, that feels right to me. But your conscious mind, with all the proof of the negativity that it has throughout its life, doesn't take that, doesn't accept it. It doesn't believe in it as true. So as long as the heart and mind are in conflict, that reflection, that new belief that you've just picked up, won't be reflected outwards. So this is where you have to kind of give it some time. You have to kind of ease your mind into agreeing with your heart. Another example could be your heart having a true desire for a Ferrari. You really want to experience a Ferrari. And your mind just says, no, that's not possible. We can't afford it. I don't know how I'm ever gonna get there. And there's a disagreement between what the heart wants and what the mind will allow. So as long as this disagreement exists, the Ferrari will not be manifested in your physical reality. only when there is agreement between the heart and the mind is the reflection formed. This brings us to number 3. There is a delay in the reflection. So like a regular mirror, when you just say you're in front of the mirror and you raise your arm up and you see the reflection, your arm goes directly up. That's not how this reality mirror works. Your old beliefs have a certain amount of momentum, and they're always being reflected in your physical world. But just say you pick up these new beliefs and you are trying to manifest something into your life, you're going to have to be consistent over a certain period of time, because things take a certain amount of time to manifest physically. There's a delay in this reflection. So as compared to the regular real mirror in real life, this reality mirror works like this. You put your arm up and you don't see any movement in the reflection. But eventually you see that arm lift up. The reflection is inevitable, it will occur, but it's not something that will just happen immediately on a newfound belief that you just picked up. You're going to have to be consistent over time with a certain belief or a thought or an emotion to really manifest it externally. There is a delay in the reflection of the mirror. Now we're on to number 4. The mirror cites the content of the relationship but ignores the orientation, meaning that only what you think about matters, not how you think about that thing. Confused? Let's just say you hate apples and you are constantly thinking about how much you hate apples and how much you don't want to eat apples. You don't want them in your reality. You just want to avoid apples at all cost. Because the content of your thoughts is apples, you will see that in the reflection. You are more likely to experience apples in your reality. It doesn't matter if you are trying to avoid them or you're trying to hate on them. Just because you are thinking about it and giving it so much focus, where focus goes, energy flows, and therefore you will see it in your reality. The universe is inclusive, that you can't exclude anything. If you don't want anything in your life, you simply have to divert your attention from it. Anything that you give attention to in your life will eventually manifest if it is consistently thought about over a period of time. So just to reiterate, it doesn't matter how much you hate something or how much you want to avoid something. If you constantly think about it, because the content of your thoughts is always occupied with it, that is exactly what the reflection will show you. Which now perfectly brings us to number 5, which is switch your attention from the reflection to the image. Think about the things that you do want and the things that you do want to achieve, rather than the things that you don't want and the things that you want to avoid. Most people in this world are controlled by the reflection, their external reality. Their sense of well-being and happiness is controlled by what is going on outside of them. And that's why they are a slave to the mirror, to the reflection. In order to gain control of your reality, in order to gain control of this mirror reality principle, you have to switch your attention from the outside to the inside. Because if the inside is beautiful, you consciously make sure that your inner reality is always taken care of, it is under your control, it is not dictated by external circumstances, and that it is always beautiful and opulent, then that image will always be reflected externally. So even though you might come up against a really big obstacle or something negative in your life externally, a challenge of some sort, if you keep radiating positively within, if you keep your inner reality beautiful even in difficult times, then those difficult times won't last long. How emotionally attached you are to the reflection determines how much control you actually have over reality. If you are super attached to how you want things to happen, or only wanting good experiences, or if your happiness is completely comprised of, how everything on the outside is going, then you are literally just a slave to the reflection. You are not controlling reality, reality is controlling you. This brings us to number 6, which is release the grip of control and go with the flow. By letting go of control over a situation, you gain real control over your reality. And this is completely the opposite of what you have been taught your entire life. One of the biggest challenges that I have with my coaching clients is convincing them to let go of the firm grip that they have over every single aspect of their life. Is to really let go of needing to control every single situation, every single person, every single thing in their reality. This is a challenge that I face myself. I constantly fall into the trap of trying to control the situation through direct impact and action. But sometimes you really just have to become the observer and watch how things just play out naturally on their own. We are born into a world where we are just taught to constantly take direct action and influence and impact the outside world and try to control every single aspect of it. But what we do is, in our desire to control everything, we restrict the flow of life. Life can only flow when energy is just moving and constant. But when we are constantly trying to control everything, our attention is fixed on just one aspect of reality, one aspect of infinity, and we are not allowing life to flow. And that's when obstacles really come up. Obstacles are born because you are really attributing the external reality a lot of meaning and you're trying to control everything. Whereas if you were just to let go, reality would just start flowing and everything would work out on its own. And this is a principle that everybody is so fearful to implement into their lives. But really, once you implement this, you will see that all the minor inconveniences that you were coming up across, all the negative people in your life naturally just fade away. Once you stop resisting the reflection and just go with the flow, everything works out in your life. So release the grip and do number 7, which is embrace any reflection as positive. Whatever happens, everything is unfolding the way that it should. The only reason you react negatively to certain events that happen in reality is because you have been conditioned to do so your entire life. Ever since you were a child, you were told that this list of things is good in life, this list of things is bad. When bad things happen, react negatively, cry, do all those things, offer a lot of resistance. And when good things happen, that's when you can be happy. That's when you can be joyful. It's all conditioning. It's not natural at all. It's just conditioning. And if it's conditioned to be on the negative side right now, you can reverse this conditioning back to the positive side. When you start going with the flow, a lot of things are gonna happen that you can't even make sense of. You can never figure out how this one negative thing that happened to you could lead to something positive. But that's just your ego's limited viewpoint. Your ego only knows what has been and what currently is. It has no idea about what will happen. But your subconscious mind, your heart does, okay? And that's why you need to ease the grip a little bit when things don't go according to your plan, because the thing that is happening that you are offering so much resistance to might be the very thing that you need in order to actually move forward. But because you're resisting it, you can't take full advantage of it. You are not seeing the opportunity that lies within it. So when negative things happen to you, when you fail, when you get hurt in life, attribute it a positive meaning and tell yourself that this event is exactly what I need in order to get to where I'm trying to go, and this will help me get there. And because everything in life picks up the meaning that we give it, that's exactly what will happen to those events. Those events will end up becoming something positive for you going forward. Even now, looking back at your life, I know you can count so many times where at the time you thought something was really bad, but it ended up becoming so positive later for you, right? You were like, thank God that happened. Well, that's exactly what the 7th mirror principle states that you should do. Anytime, whatever happens, it is positive. It is allowing you to move forward. Attribute a positive meaning to it and embrace the reflection. You love what's going on. The internal state always stays beautiful, always stays positive. And even when undesired circumstances happen on the external world, your balance isn't disturbed. You are still okay and you are still happy. So those were the 7 mirror principles of reality. I can guarantee you once you start following these principles, your life will become so much easier. I'm not claiming that things will happen instantly, but I'm saying that you'll have a more fun time, more smooth journey towards your goals. So implement these 7 mirror principles into your life right now. And if you have any questions regarding these 7 mirror principles, comment them down below. But other than that, that is all I have for today's video. If you did like it, give me a thumbs up and share this video with a friend who would also find it helpful. If you'd like to get coaching with me one-on-one, the link for that is in the description box below. Other than that, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.